When you were going to school in Portsoy, did you walk to school or did you get the bus?
Well, at Portsoy School, they put on a bus, and the bus went to Fordyce first and picked up kids for Fordyce, came down to the main road, but we had to walk from our house up to the main road to get the bus. The bus didn't come down into the village. We had to walk. Now, I think there would only be in or two kids and so I knew. But they get the transport right down into the village.
Aye.
But we had to walk.
So
And then we'd got the ordinary bus here, the ordinary service bus. And it didn't get to Portsoy to 4:30. The school came out at 4 and the bus didn't arrive in Portsoy to 4:30. Well, after we all got on the bus and got to the top of Sandend Road and walked right down, it was about 5:15 or thereabout that we got home for the school. Near where the darkness or nothing, we just had to go on.
So what about, you know, in those gravestones in Fordyce?
Aye.
Great
Aye, the
granddads.
old days.
Aye. So how did they walk for Snine all the way to Fordyce?
I carried the coffin.
All the way for Snine?
Aye. Well, according to my mother and father and them, that for the dead. And they would say there was a lot of snow in the winter saying, and they would say the men, they were soaked, and they didn't change over. Came with another load, because load couldn't carry them right to Fordyce. So there was a rota kind of system for different ones to come on to carry.
So they carried the coffin?
They carried the coffin to Fordyce.
Wow.
Good grief.
One good thing, when I look at those gravestones, they all lived long lives.
I can.
They're in their 70s, which is quite good for those days.
In spite of the poverty and the hardship they did through, they lived a long life. But in saying that, James, there was a lot of deaths because they were big families. You see?
Mm.
And at that time, people were dying with scarlet fever, diphtheria and all things, which I got a cure for, you see?
Mm-hmm.
But you see, there was a lot of that. And Portsoy Hospital was just for that, scarlet fever and diphtheria, until they got a cure and that faded out, like hoping that they get a cure for this. And then it was just made into like a old folks kind of hospital in Portsoy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's closed and gone new and all.
So when Grandad died in 1953, he got buried in Fordyce as well. So, but they would have had hearses by that time, did they?
I can't mind about my father's funeral. I can't mind nothing about that. And again, if I'd been put in a war somewhere to bed with somebody or something, and again, because I can't mind nothing about it.
And remember you told me about, was it August? There's a date in August.
24th.
24th of August.
Nothing happened in the 24th.
Yeah. So Grandad died. James, his body was found or something like that.
We were married and then Lorraine was killed and again it was just... and my mother's sister and Findochty,
So really, I've got to beware the 24th of August.
Because when we were getting married, Mum says to me, have you got nothing arranged? And I said, no, we can't get the church and the town hall on the same date. I says, the only date to get our thing on is the 24th of August. And I says, no, I didn't take that. And she says, why not? She says, what about just taking that date and turning the sorrow and nothing, and happiness. Change it in a boot, can make it a good date for now on. Well, we did not. We took it 24th August. And then look what happened. Lorraine died. It's unbelievable, James. Can it is unbelievable. So
I'll have to watch the 24th.
that's what history. I was back in the days of old.
But you know what I noticed when I saw the family tree? There was always about 6 sons, yeah? And there were always James, William. There were a certain order to the names. Every generation was the same.
John.
And it seemed like the oldest one stayed, and maybe the second one, but then the rest of them, some of them went to Canada, Australia, New Zealand. So it was like it was just the oldest ones that stayed in Snine, not the whole lot. They kind of left. But you're saying Grandad's boat was all his brothers? Yeah?
Grandad's family, there was, well, they were just in less room. And there was that, the parents and the 10 of them. And they were, and Uncle Doug said, oh, we just sleep in a bed in the lawn, and it's a wide kind of bed, and there's a bed there. A single bed, and I just have something there, and sometimes on another bed from another room, so what the fish are not. Oh dear.
But Grandad came from Snine. His family was from Snine, eh?
Yes.
Aye.
That's a thought I gather. And that Mary, she came to our boutique, she was there. And I mean, Mary was a good bit older than me, maybe 12 years. And she could tell you further back stories about what Granny and them, you came to mean. She could go all far back, Mary could.
And so you met Campbell.
But there was, according to Isabel, my Uncle Benji's Isabel, she's in McCrae Court in Aberdeen now, in Portsoy. She said there was 48 or 49 cousins. No, we're down to 8. Because I'm the only in our family. She's the only one left in their family. There's Alec and Bucky, the only one in his family. And there's Gordon and Leslie and Jim, out of the 10 family. There's 3 of them left. And us. I'm Aunt Mary's crowd in McDuff was all gone. And the family of Sutherlands and Sandend, they're all gone. And
I mean,
Uncle Dod was never married.
there's a good photograph of all the family in the Bents.
Aye, but
Remember
half
that?
of them weren't there. Isabel says we weren't there, and Dora says we weren't there on the photo. And oh God. So there's just Isabel new left, and not 3, Gordon, Jim and Leslie, and Doris, and her sister Margaret, and Alec. That's a lot. Who did the 49? That's what's left new.
Because it always used to be a big funeral, remember?
Yeah?
Funerals were always big, remember? It was just, everybody came out the woodwork for the funerals.
Oh dear, dear. And then the tea was in the house, and there wasn't a room to get moved. I mean, your dad says, we're praying, my mum out of their house. Well, they were getting the sweep, and all the pictures and ornaments was away, cleaned, and ready to be hung up after the sweep. Oh, well, Granny died. Oh, no. Oh, there's nothing, no pictures, no anything. And I said to Lorraine, now, you'll bide down with Sheila and try and get the room back in order after the sweep. Wash up or whatever you have to do, the fireplace and all that, and try and get everything back in order. I said, so they're not cleaned. If some of the pictures are not cleaned, just hang them up just for the time. And then we can sort it again. I mean, not.
But was it Granny's house, Granny's funeral? In the end, I mind that. That was Granny's funeral. Was at Granny's house?
Granny's funeral was at your mum's house.
Oh, was it?
And it was different days.
Ah.
Because my mother.
Oh no, I didn't go to Granny's funeral.
She wear white, nightie, a nightgown, and socks. And if she was staying with your mum and them, this had to go there. And a handbag here. And I came first she got on, but the one was real leather, and it was a clutch bag, and it was all with fruit, like sticking out like grapes and apples and everything. First she got on, don't know, because it's really a really luxury bag. But anyway, that day had to go with the bag and the nightie and the socks. So she was down there, this had to go down in case she died down there, so that had to go. If she came up here, this had to go. And your dad says to me, Eddie, if it's a nice handbag and all thing it were a trailing about, I says, oh, this birth certificate and marriage certificate or something. I say, no money, and I said, but she's to get that bag here, and he says, oh, I can. And so, now, I should be down to Sandend and Portsoy. And the bag, and not, I was doing it at your dad's. And Sheila, she says, oh, I've washed a nightie, because it's Sheila with age. It's Sheila, we're lying. She said, I've washed a nightie. And I said, oh, it's okay, that's fine. And I think, and then, but I think a bag was there, and they went up to me and said, what's a bag now? And I said, oh, I think it's still left here. And, oh, well, we better get the bag and get that done. I said, nothing in the bag, but never mind. And then, if it happened, or something about a ring. And then I said, oh, well, I'll take a ring. So I said to Sandend, can make sure they took off a ring. So I got it and I put it on there, just a plain ring. But it was buried out. And I mean, and George Sutherland and Fraserbury, you can studs.
Ah, yeah.
And he phoned and he says to your dad in the phone, where the heck was you? He says, it was big meeting. You were the main lad and you never turned up. Where was you at? And Dad says, I was burying my mother. And he says, fact, we never hear nothing about this. And I mean, George was all taken aback. He says, good Lord. He says, somebody surely could have killed the skin and she died. But no, he was all, where was she? And your dad says, I was burying my mother. Oh, I mean not. Church is still floating on yet.
Yeah. I went to see him a few years ago.
Because Emily tells me, Sandy, Sutherland's Emily at the top of Bray here, she tells me.
So how's she? How's Emily?
She was married to Sandy
Aye.
Sutherland.
So how's she doing?
Yeah?
How's Emily?
She's all right. She's on the phone the other night.
Yeah, there was a kind of group of them, wasn't there, fishermen? There was Sandy and Dad and who else was there? There was a group of skippers, wasn't there? Willie the Copious,
The kid.
John Mackay.
Oh my.
Mind there was
And Gordon McCoy. He's a living, Gordon. He's in a home up here. But Sandy Wood died, maybe 5 weeks ago. Oh. And I think his brother Dave is near for well.
You know, at one stage in Portsoy.
But Jan Sutherland, he saw him walking by yesterday.
Oh,
They're walking.
he's out posting on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he quite often posts pictures with Dad in it. And he puts, he says,
I remember in the photos when we were in New York and all. When we came home, John Sutherland said to me, so I saw you on Facebook, but he said there was a person we didn't ken, what was, but it was Mona. They didn't ken Mona. They came down, because she come tripping through here any time, but they didn't ken Mona.
That was good. I noticed that Mona had the book, the New York book. It was out.
No, I'm not flying the art. The album thing that you gave us. It's I am there, over there. Good for the thought. Good times. But I'm getting a bit middle now between Prague and Berlin. You can't. And I'm saying, now, when we was in America, it was not flood, it was a good flood. Mine at New York. It was good. And then we moved to, what did we go?
Niagara.
Up to Niagara somewhere.
Mm. But I think we stopped on the way.
I think we had one night somewhere.
Aye.
And then we went on to a place up in a mountain or something or other, a mountain lodge or something or other.
In New England. When the trees.
We went to the airport to come home.
Aye.
For that place.
Yeah.
But when we're in Prague, the place that we were to go, it was really... it had that beds, like I'm speaking about, that stripy thing, skin. And you sunk right down them on them. Some of them with feathers and some of them with that scarf that they spoke about. And you just sunk right down like in a hole.
That was terrible.
And very on, when I had to sleep here when she died, well, I'm him and I says to Campbell, I'm look like sports and I think, and he was there laughing. I said, what are you laughing about? He said, that's Mary Ann's bed, that's fleas, that's I said, Fred, oh crikey. And she there still has one in bed with us. Oh, so I says, right, I stay the night and she's buried, and no long after that, I'm not staying here another night. You can all please yourselves. And Nettie says, oh, but it would be better to bide her very well. See, I says, I'm not staying in that house. You can go. I says, I'm there. I says, look, I'm all itchy and nothing with all this. When I came on, it had been changed and stuff in the thing, Ken. And Carmel was laughing. I said, Ken, it's I'm out in sports and I'm out seeing, I'm getting sad and everything. And he was laughing. And eventually he says, oh, that's with the fleas. I said, for the fleas. He says, it's Mary on bed, bun in bed. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, my cousin Nettie, Mom's folk, she says, when Mary Ann died, now, first gone to bed here, I'll see you later bed in that Susa Trail, gonna hear bed with a corpse. So she'll be a deed, you'll hit a deed. And I said, why are you not doing? Oh no, I've other things to do, I can't abide. I thought, oh well. I'd rather leave Elsie or she'll, I said, I would do. Well, never again. Good. And I says, when Mary Ann is putting in that ground, I'm home. I'm not big any longer. Mary Ann was 96 or 97. And the house was just like it was in olden days, getting the fire. Campbell would say, you go on and see Mary Ann in the fire zone. She nae heating, nae other heating. He says a little flicker of flame, just one flicker. And she put on one lumpy of coal at a time. You got no heat whatsoever. And the kettle happens putting on the fire. Well, happens to heat the water, but they heat the water. She plunked it on the kettle and they heat. But even on my mother, she wouldn't have put on, she hadn't any heating. They hadn't any heating in Sandend in that last house she was in. And we both Dimplex radiators that you just plug into the wall, you can't for her. Oh well, when I get doing the places I freezing cold, but she can't if I was coming, she put on the electric fire, one burning you. And your dad says to me, here, Mom, there's never no heating on plates, and I says, I can. He says, I'm going to get a new big fire tiller, electric fire, because there's no gas, you see. Okay. And he says, and I'll pay for the electric to give more heat. If she can't afford the electric, I'll pay the bills. I'll tell the hydro to send the bills to me. Oh well, that was going to be okay. He bought the fire. And our neighbour, Christina, would phone up to me and she would say, Joyce, she maybe had on too bad when you were there, but you wouldn't have to top the road. When she switched it up, she says off. So she's no better off with the bigger fire and him going to pay the electric. So I phoned her and I said, Nina bother. I said, she's no putting on the fire. So anyway, eventually he says, we'll put in the phone and we'll come for she's doing. I'll pay for it. Oh well, tells her now we're going to get organised put in the phone. Don't want it. I says, fact, I says, he's going to pay the bill, the phone bill and nothing. I never had anybody paying anything for my days. No. And she says, and anyway, I won't answer the phone from your phone, because a phone never tells you any good. It's about somebody it's ill or has passed away, and I'm not going to answer it. Well, I contacted him and said, "It's no use." I says, "We'll be phoning to see if she's all right." She won't answer the phone. So we'll think there's something wrong and we'll toddle off there. I says, "We're going to be worse off. We'll be running away there and she's all right because she won't answer the phone because it doesn't tell you any good. It just tells you about folk at cell or what the hospital or passed on. So I'm not answering. That was the end of that. So, as I said, now that's not that long ago, James.
No.
That she was at that. That she was now in no heating. No central heating or nothing. And I mind when she was here. And I gave what was wrong with her, but we to get the doctor on her, and the doctor comes down, and he's in, and he's saying about what's wrong with her, and she says to the doctor, "Now, doctor, you ain't so not going to live so long as me." Or she said, "Oh, it's all age or something." And she says, "And you lot are not going to live so long as me." He says, "And how do you make that out?" She says, "Well," she says, "if all this heating and all this modern stuff and all things," she says, "if you were doing the Deans," they called it the Deans, they got that place in Yarmouth, "if you were doing the Deans at 6 o'clock in a rack winter frosty morning, you would be no use, because you're all used to this heating and all things. You would be no use to go to do what we had to do." "Oh," says the doctor, "do you think so?" And she says, "Oh, aye." And she says, we had to go to, oh, he says, "You followed the fishing, did you?" He was not fishing, but never mind. And she says, "Oh, yes." And we were in Cronin Ireland, and we were at Lerwick, and we were at Fraserburgh and somewhere else. And he says, "Oh." And she says, "Oh, aye." She says, "So you ain't, no. You ain't not going to live to the age of me." Because I says, "Mom, the doctor's not here to hear all that. He's a busy man." The doctor says, No, just let her talk. It'll do her more good if somebody's listening to how they had to be brought up. You can." He says, "It'll do you better than a tonic that I can give you." So he says, "Just let her say what to say."
So what was Granny's dad? Was he a fisherman?
Yeah.
Granny's dad, was he a fisherman?
And they came soon. And they came and I put them because I thought they were all going away. I never came none of them, you see. So I came. But Mum used to say to me, "Joyce, if it wasn't for the Fenechty folk, you wouldn't have even half the day. Because they were a kind of better off than us, real native. See, I can't better, but never mind." And she says, "They helped me a lot. You can, our sisters and our brothers helped Mum a lot, which we didn't ken when we were young. But if their dad died or not, they had a kind of came together and get us something, you can, some comfort or something." And she said to me, "Now, dinna you forget the Fenechty folk from Omaha, because they've been good to us." You know?
Now, you can't imagine the life that, Granny, I always thought, remember I found those telexes and stuff about James when he died, and his letters, I've still got them. And I thought, wow, that must have been really, really hard.
When my father died, I said, well, it was I didn't see it right after James died. And I said, my mother was far more upset and poorly when James died than when my dad died. Because when you look back on things, James, you just meet somebody and you marry them. But then, if your children, they're your flesh and blood, you can not. And I think it hurts you more than you feel like your husband or your wife.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Because I said, my mother was worse when James died than when my father died. No, she didn't mourn my father or nothing like that, but I think James's death came more severe on her than that's what I thought. And I said to your dad and me, now, if I'm away or I'm in my dad's bed and I say, well, some of you look after John, you say no, because I don't want you to be burdened with John. You've your lives to lead, and I don't want you to burden. And just say, though I'm dying, just say no. Well, it didn't come to that, because John died before her. And I thought, oh no, now she'll go out to pieces, because she's saying John to look after our life, and she'll be out to pieces. You can't ask James, she was another kind. It was a relief that John was awa afore her, that she can't, he was awa, and she can't his burial and nothing, and she was another kind.
Mm-hmm.
She hadn't the worry of him or nothing. It was funny that. Because I said to come, well, she'll go to pieces now, and others thought, no, she was another kind. And so all this burden and looking after him and nothing was gone, you can.
Mm-hmm.
So she had a good life, my mother, you can. But neither had a lot more in those days. No. Obviously was a kind of in the same boat. But I said, the fanatic crowd, our brothers and them are better off than we were. So Anna came, she says, never forget them, because they've been good to us. Anna came, she said, well, they were good, but whether they gave her anything, money or fit to help her out on again. But that's what she said. But I ken my father's folk. Well, there was a big family of them. But the gravestone in Fordyce, their mother and father, there's a lot of names on it, it's a big stone, and it had to get related. So, Aunt Mary and him in Macduff went round and said, Jim, will you pay a share to get this gravestone sorted and related? Oh, he was willing to pay. And they said to my mother, if they were going to do this, but you're not paying, because you're a widow. And it's only us, it's kind of like a couple and not, it's going to pay. No, we'll pay. And you wins. But my mother said, at that time, my mother says, oh, but I can't pay, I can pay my share. And they said, no, we'll do all that, which they did. And my mother didn't have to pay. And Uncle Dod, and not all that coin in his linoleum, he came up to see my mother until she came out of that house. And John I liked her more, and Uncle Dod, and all like, name it a fun they came every week or twice a week. They day a marsh or a pack of marsh to them. All that coy arrived. laden with money, never had damp marsh or nothing. He never nothing. But Uncle Dod had drunk all the time, and Alec, and well, Alec was the brother and that, but they never deserted my mother. They came. They couldn't walk up to the house no longer. I came. That was Mary's father, Alec. I came to my mother and went to Dunhouse to see her and all, when she was in here. Dunhouse still going.
Yeah. I see it. Maybe